Dr. George Sheehan, cardiologist, marathon runner, author, has become one of running's most eloquent spokesmen as he pursues his own outer limits.
I think the reason I got into running was that I was 45 years old. Now that's 15 years back. And I was in that change of life, middle-aged melancholy or whatever. Time that Peter Drucker says you should change your career. I was filled with those dissatisfactions, and I just didn't feel that I was living the life I was supposed to. I'd been trained just to go through life the way it had been, but I say I just pulled the emergency cord and got off that train and went back to my body. It just seemed the simplest thing to do. We live in a culture where the body is a second-class citizen. We've been split off from our bodies, and ever since the time we went to church, the body was either bad, we have to save our soul. Then we went to school, and all they cared about was our IQ or PSAT test. And then when we got into industry, you're either a blue-collar worker or a white-collar worker. So all the time, the body's being degraded. Yet, we are our bodies. Our bodies are us, you know, and this is the only life we're going to live. We live it physically. We have to live at the top of our powers. You can't believe how good I feel. This is a playful, joyful experience for me. I think Marianne Moore said something about satisfaction is such a minor thing. Joy is what we want. So the job, say, is to find out what is a joy to you as this running is to me. You know, all this stuff about stopping smoking, stopping drinking, that's going ass backwards. See, if you get into something that you really love to do and is joyful and is addictive and physical, you automatically stop these things. Before I started running, I was getting bombed out about every weekend, falling asleep in front of the TV. I didn't smoke because I was too cheap, but I would have. Anyway, when I started running, all these things automatically left. You know, Gandhi once said, don't give up anything until you don't need it anymore. You still need to smoke and drink unless you get into your play, believe it. Trying to get the most out of what we were born with, regardless of whether we're quite up to being Joe Namath or O.J. Simpson or whatever. And know that, like David, we're marvelously made also. And that man at any age is still a marvel of the universe. So when you become an athlete, what you do is you just put age aside. You're no longer age, you're growing. And I don't care what age it is. I'm 58 and growing. You start out with fitness and then find this meditation and contemplation on the run. And for many of us, that's enough. But finally, at least for me and many others, you have to take yourself somewhere on a Sunday or even up to Boston and see who you are. Each of us is an animal, a child, an artist, and a saint. And Emerson said, be first a good animal. See, we've got to be a good animal. We're sitting around not being animals. I've gotten down to where I'm a good animal now. You can do that too. You'll be your particular breed of animal. And then a child, so you can find your play. Find out what that thing is that puts you in that magic moment where the whole world falls away from you. And then an artist, because in play you become creative, and then you apply it later. But you never have an original thought unless you're in action. And then finally, we have to be saints. We have some way to be a hero. And sport provides a theater for heroism. You can go through your whole life in the United States and not know whether you're a coward or not. I can go in a race and go through tensions and trials and challenges that I haven't experienced in a year in my day-to-day living. I can live, die, and be born again. You know, We all become then an experiment of one. We begin to set our own rules and begin to think for ourselves. And that's what an athlete learns. And each one of us can be an athlete. I think what happens is running begins to inform your whole life. It gets inside of your entire existence. So your entire waking day has to do now with being a runner in some way. So I'm a runner doctor, runner father, runner husband, and I'm the better for it. Because I have the energy now, the physical energy, I have the creative energy, and God help me, I'll get the spiritual energy out of it too.